Market update here on the 9th. So, pretty flat day, up and down, pretty big move from the bottom. This looked like it was going to be a five-way move, but then we just came right back up here and actually broke the high here. And I think the most likely scenario from here is we're going to get a flat. So, something like that is a very likely possibility. And then I would expect higher. So I don't, it could end up being something like this. Outside the parallel line, let me zoom out here. A little bit longer. And I have so many lines here, let's figure out. Get rid of all these. So, now we have 1 and 3 right here. And you're going to want to see the counts on Meta and Tesla here in a second. I'm going to go over those and pretty in depth. Those are the two that I've been following the most. And I was in Meta today, I actually sold it. So this would be about halfway. Let's say it goes to 340, or it could just come down here to 348. 348 is right around the 0.23 fib. I expected a more dramatic move, so if it comes down here to 338, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I still am expecting a little bit more downside before it can continue higher, most likely. Invalidation on that move would be if we broke below, like, pretty much 330, if we go past this gap fill basically, and then break below this low, then I would say that we're in something different. We're probably in the WXY. Right now, my first option is the five-way move just because the charts. So we'll see what happens, but I think that there's a little bit more downside next week, and then we should get another pop. I'm looking for it to get outside of I still want to get outside of like 370 basically by June 20th. That seems like a lot though. It's probably not going to happen by June 20th. It's probably going to be higher than that then, because let's say it happens in July, we're looking at like the high 370s, maybe 380. So it's pretty insane, but that's what I'm looking for. And let's go over SPY. And my cursor is really annoying me today. I don't know if it's the internet or whatnot, but you can see I can't see my cursor at all. On SPY, we did come a little bit higher here. I think that was a fifth wave. I haven't really been following this one that much, but I think that this too is probably ABC. We pull back and then go higher. So maybe a pullback to the 0.23 or the 0.38 fib. So maybe 425, maybe 421, something like that, and then we go higher. So not much has changed with SPY. I'm still looking for 440 to 450 before it tops out. So Tesla and Meta are the ones I'm going to focus on in this video. I'll probably do the rest of tech in another video. I didn't get a chance to go in depth. But Tesla just kept on extending. And so I went back through it more in depth using the extensions. Because again, if you zoom out here on the higher time frames, even though this is ridiculously overbought, the target is still somewhere around like 320. That's if I use that technique, and I also use this one right here is a little bit higher. This is actually 337. So 320, 337 are my targets pretty much. So I think it's going to continue higher. And we can also draw a parallel line here and just kind of get an idea of where what time frame that might hit. So it's probably going to be in the middle. So maybe sometime in like August. I don't know if this is perfectly centered right here, but 320 sometime in late August. So I'm still expecting this melt up to continue throughout the summer, and that's always been my position actually. If you watch videos from a while back, I said through the summer we're going to melt up because, again, if this is the A wave and this is the B wave, it usually is about the same length. This took about 11 months, so this is probably going to take into September to finish. August, September. So Tesla, so now that we got that out of the way, 320 is a target, maybe 337. Zooming in here on lower time frames. Let's go to the 1 hour. So I still have this as a first wave right here, second wave right here, and then if we use parallel line, you can see that this should be a third wave. However, it does come back to the 0.5 fib, so that would not be an ideal fourth wave. So then it's more than likely a first wave of the third wave So we got 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this is the start of the third wave of the third wave, which is usually the longest. And we get 1, 2, and again, this could be a third wave, but it's not the 1.61 fib. It's short of that. So that's right up here. And if you count the waves here, it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1, 2, 3, pull back, fourth wave. And I think that we finished the overall third wave today. So we have 1, 2, 3, and we should be making a fourth wave next week. I'm looking for something around, let's use our parallel lines here to see. So I'm looking for something around 228 is the 0.23 fib. I think there's actually a pretty good demand zone around here too, this area. Maybe it comes down here even farther to 220. There's also a demand zone right there, a pretty good one. If we use our fib tool, just to get an idea of retracements, you'll see 228 and then 215 even is a fine retracement as well. So anywhere between 215 and 228 is kind of my target. And I'm just looking at this again. This could potentially be a third wave too. I didn't go in depth on this wave. Let's see. So if it does this, let's say it goes, this ends up being this might be one. Let me zoom in even farther. So if this ends up being a fourth wave, and then we get the end of third wave up here at the gap fill at 260, then it would just change it a little bit. We'd probably pull back to like 240. So without going into this too much, and if this keeps on extending, let's just look at how long the first wave was. It was 164. It was 28 bucks. This one was 43 bucks. This one's already gone about 40 bucks. So it should be finished. So we'll just say it's finished right now. We'll see if it goes higher next week, early in the week, then that's definitely got to be the end of the third wave. But I think I'm leaning towards this being the fourth wave overall. And then you got to remember, this is still the third wave. So after that, I'm looking for like probably somewhere around 287, maybe even 300. And then that would be the overall, let's just say 287. So that would be the overall fifth wave and the overall third wave. This move is pretty insane, obviously. And I wasn't expecting it to be this quick if you watch my past videos, but when they extend like this, sometimes your count will end up being off because you have to keep on factoring in the extensions. So 287, and then probably pull back to like 250. And then the target is, again, 320 to 338. So we're probably looking at the fifth wave ending. My timing is probably off on this. It's probably going to be in late July as well. Or late August, I mean. And again, we can do parallel lines. And it's probably going to be in the middle again. So again, right there in the late August, again, the exact same as, what was I looking at? Whichever one I was looking at before, I think it was QQQ. So late August is kind of the time frame for 320 to 330. 320, and then remember, this is only, in my opinion, this is only the B wave. So we go to 320, the top was at 418. It might sound kind of insane, but I think that this could go if we zoom out here, we're using log chart here. I think there might be some kind of insane fall on Tesla because, again, when you use a log chart, you can see how they're all equal regardless of the price. This whole thing is equal. We've only retraced to the 0.23 fib so far. So if we go all the way to 320 and high was at 413, we might be looking at something the 0.5 fib would be the regular pullback. That's $20. So that's kind of insane. I don't know if it'll get there here, but honestly, we might be looking at something like this, where this is the C wave comes down here to like $80, and then we bounce again, and then we come down here like this. Maybe. It's very possible. So this is just a very big, retrace. So I think a lot of people that are saying it's going to go to like 1,000 might be very surprised at what happens, because we got this 5-wave move. I guess it could be an ABC move as well. But anyway, that doesn't really matter right now. So you saw my chart for the short term. Just look for a pullback next week to 228. And if it goes a little bit higher, pullback after that. Ultimate target is 320 by late August. All right, Meta. So I was in this, I sold it, but I'm probably going to buy back in. Again, looking for at least, so this technique, 374. The 1.61 fib is sitting at 325, so at least 325. And I would probably lean towards 325. That is right here in this resistance area. So then we zoom in on this. Taking a little bit more time on these this weekend because it's really easy to mess up your count when they just keep on extending. Again, I think this is an extended fifth wave. If we zoom in here, we have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second wave pullback. clear third wave right there. And it's also pretty much exactly the 1.61 fib. That's the third wave. Fourth wave doesn't come back into the first wave. And then we get this move. 1, 2, and then this right here could be a third wave, but this retraces again back into the first wave, so it's got to be a second wave in my opinion. And then also the way you know that is because we get this big move right here. That's got to be a third wave. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think we just finished the fifth wave right here. And we're starting the fourth wave. So we are in the beginning of the fourth wave. We've already gotten outside the parallel line, but I'm looking for something maybe around like 255. That would only be a retracement to about the 0.23 fib. Could come down all the way here to 242 as well, but I would say 255 is a pretty good retracement because that's also, I think 250 is a 1.61 fib. Let's see. So maybe 250 as well. And that would be the overall fourth wave. Our target is 325. We still have not gap filled at 289, but I think that should happen in the fifth wave. If we go all the way down here and then put this, let's say we go to 250. And look at that, the 0.5 fib, 0.61 fib is right around 325. So I'll just do those right now. I'll do another video this weekend for the rest of the tech stocks, but Meta and Tesla, I would say Tesla has more upside. The target's pretty much 320 for both of them. So it's at 243. Meta is at 264. So Tesla has more upside than Meta. I've been playing Meta a little bit more. They're both ridiculously overbought, but Tesla on the weekly still has some room to run, while Meta on the weekly, I don't have the RSI put up here. Meta on the weekly is like the most overbought ever. So they both can run more. Tesla's less overbought, and it's probably going to go up a higher percentage. So based on everything I just showed you, Tesla is probably the better buy. And I'm looking for 320 on both of them. And that just shows you, what is that? 244 divided by 320. That's a 24% gain. And on Meta, that is a 17% gain. So Tesla's the better buy short term. And let's go over the invalidation levels. Invalidation on Tesla would be, assuming this third wave is finished, invalidation is 204. Yeah, 204. Although the thing is, this is so extended, it didn't come all the way back here the first wave. So it's not like technically it's done, but I would say if it breaks below like 204, it's probably not a fourth wave anymore. Meta is the same thing. I guess I shouldn't even really be giving the invalidation levels because this move is so extended that the invalidation level, you would know if it got past like the 0.38 fib pretty much. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I'll do more tech later in the week or later in the weekend, but that's the more in-depth count for Tesla and Meta. I showed you why, the time frame, shows you why I think it's going higher, and I showed you my count of this extended move on both of them. And pretty much all the tech stocks are the exact same. They should have ended a long time ago, but they just keep on extending. So you got to keep on updating your count over and over. But overall, QQQ should be going on a little bit more next week. Tesla down, Meta down, SPY down, and then more upside. So that's it. leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you like the content, and expect another video on the rest of the tech stocks here later in the weekend. Have a good weekend.